Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're going to be talking about different forms of divination for children. Yes, this is probably the most controversial big video I've ever done, but I'm going to tell you from experience because, we were all kids at one point, right? I would have loved to have something like this if I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, because I was one of the most awkward people you would ever meet. I got so uncomfortable talking to people and stuff. And, that makes you, if you're uncomfortable and you don't have anything in common with other people, it's going to make you grow up and it's going to make you not trust yourself. It's going to make you like be really awkward and not be able to make eye contact and stuff. Trust me, that's how I am. But when it comes to this, and this is a little bit because I haven't really gotten good at it yet. But tarot, that is how I connect with people. And imagine if you were able to start this as a child, if you were able to learn tarot as a child, you would be fantastic, know everything about it by the time you hit 18. So yes, this is controversial. Yes, there's going to be people out there that say this is terrible. Trust me, I've actually been been in that situation before. It's like, you're letting demons come in and possess our children and stuff like that. No, this is connection. This is getting to know people. It's, they're becoming friends with people that are into the same kind of things as you. If you have that weird kid that doesn't like sports and stuff like that, I was that weird kid. And if I had known stuff like this existed when I was little, I would have been just ecstatic. So the fact that I'm sharing this with you today is something that I'm very ecstatic about. First, we're going to start with the book right here. Now, this is from Red Wheel Wiser, and it's really, really, really awesome. That's who published it, by the way. Moondust Press is the number, or the thing on the back. And you see there, it's by P.V. Dai, D-A-I, and Alyssa Marie. Now, this is In Your Hands, A Kid's Guide to Palmistry. Now, I am a 40-year-old adult woman, but I'm telling you, I've tried to read books on palmistry before, and none have spoken to me like this one. Maybe it's the way my brain works. Maybe it's the fact that you go through this book, let's get through some of it, and you have pictures. That's the thing about a children's book that's not there with an adult book. Yeah, there's like lines and stuff like that in a palm book because you have to see those things on there. But in this one, it's so colorful, it's so pretty, and there's everything that you need to get started with learning learning palmistry. I almost said learning tarot, but we're going to get to that. That's what I do. But there you've got like the friendship that can come when it's like, ooh, let me look at your hand. And as a child, it's always growing, always evolving, because the more we live, the more you can see in our hands. Now, every single page, there's so much here that can tell you like how to get started and stuff. And it's so simple to read, and there's nothing negative in it, really. Now, you've got the hand there, the four shapes, different shapes of a hand are what tell you like what element you're working with. And I believe mine is the closest to the water hand there. And the water, it says, is rectangular. Finger length is longer than the length of the palm. Lines are fine lines and a lot of small lines throughout. So I kind of see that in my hand right here, kind of rectangular there and big and small lines. So that kind of shows like the different things. And this book is so informative. So even if you're an adult watching this and you've got that kid and you want to learn, like you want to help them learn this kind of stuff, you could very much borrow this book from your child and learn it yourself if you're interested in learning in it. The fire hand is the motivator, the inspirational one. Think Aries energy of I'm just going to go for it. The earth, the Taurus energy, the stabilizer, the one that keeps us grounded. The thinker is the air, air logic. And of course, water is the creator. Those emotions can help us create absolutely anything. And there's detailed little things about every single one of the hands. And here's the different worlds that it has. And all this stuff there on that page. I could spend this entire video reading you this book, but I'm not going to do that. I do want to tell you about it, and I'll put the link in the description below of where you can purchase it if this is something you and your children or just you want to learn. Now I'm going to kind of flip through so you get an idea of all the different pages there, like that's an awesome illustration right there with Jupiter up here and Saturn right there. And those are actually different places on our hands. Jupiter is that first one right here. Saturn is the one right beside it. The Mount of Apollo is right here, and the Mount of Mercury is there at the end. And we know astrology, we know how those connect to us. Luck and good fortune is the energy of Jupiter. Work and discipline and responsibilities is Saturn. The Mount of Apollo, I think Apollo relates to the sun a little bit, so how vibrant we are. That was the messenger to the gods, if I remember correctly. And of course, Mercury relates to communication and how we communicate. So we've got all that information right here in this book with the awesome pictures. So you'll be like me when I read through this book and it's like, okay, where is that on my own hand? So you get the idea of this book. It's so informative, so useful, and I'm just really, really excited to keep reading it, keep learning it and everything. It's even got stuff about fingerprints in this book. And I like the fact that they have the trees here. Not that I'm a fan of cutting down trees. No, absolutely not. But it kind of reminds us how much we are a part of the world. We are connected to the earth. Because look at the inside of that trunk of the tree. It's got the same thing that our fingerprints do. So it's really, really fascinating to me. Now I'm trying to find something in here that I thought was really cool, but I can't really find it at the moment. I should have left a bookmark in it, but there's some part in here. I can't really find it at the moment, but there is a part in this book that says if you have X's, this is the part that I thought was really cool. If you have X's between this line and this line, one is the heart, one is the head. I believe this one is the head and this one is the heart, but don't quote me on that, really. My brain takes a while to learn. Right there, though, if you have X's between those two, and I don't know if you can kind of see it right there, that means that you're into divination, you're into the occult, and you're a bit psychic, too. So I thought that was really cool when I read that book, because that's what I'm into. So you've got the front of that book, you've got the back right there, and it says, discover the magic of palmistry with this enchanting beginner's guide. Join professional palmist PV Dye to learn how the lines, mounts, and symbols of the palm can unlock the secrets of your potential. Now, I'm going to look online. I mean, you don't really need to know this, but I'll tell you anyways. I'm going to look online and see if that person offers courses, because I really want to learn how to read the palms, because that's just something else I can add to my craft of divination. Now, the second thing I'm going to share with you is the thing, as we all know, that I am the most passionate about. That is the understate of the century. I had a astrologer to my birth chart once. I traded her for a reading way back in the day. And she said, when she looked at my birth chart, you live and breathe tarot. That is no understatement. This is my favorite thing in the world, my passion. It's the only thing I've ever found that allows me to connect with people, that gives me that voice, and I'm not afraid to make eye contact with them. Seriously, I am terrified to make eye contact with people. I just can't seem to do it. And when it comes to the tarot and I'm talking, it's like we connect that way. And I'm that weird person that eventually says, oh my gosh, your eyes are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I start saying that because eyes, they're the window to the soul, and they are absolutely beautiful. Now, I still am trying like crazy to get this open. There, I finally snipped it with the handy dandy scissors and got it open. Now, when it comes to divination for children and tarot for children, regular decks, like let's say Rider-Waite-Smith, for example, is not really a deck that you want your child to get. I mean, nudity is very much a part of life. They have bodies, we have bodies, and all of that. But, it's not really something you want to focus on with children. And then when it comes to like the 6th card of the Major Arcana, the Lovers, that it's not going to make sense to a kid. I really hope it doesn't make sense to a kid, because they need that childhood. But this is tarot for kids. The tarot deck created for children in mind. And the reason I wanted this deck, other than the fact that I wanted to connect it with the book right there, is because there are those times when I do festivals and stuff, and parents want to get a reading for their children. And I have done it, and it's really interesting and enjoyable because it's the way that the kids have that confidence and stuff. They pick the cards, they learn about them and everything. And the deck that I've always used for children readings is the Dark Mansion Tarot, because there is absolutely no nudity in that deck. There is, though, that's still that Lover's card. I have yet, knock on wood, to actually have a child draw that card. I mean, yeah, it can still be friendship and everything like that, but you don't really want to talk about that, loving somebody else, loving yourself. It's very PG or G rated when you talk about it, but still, it's better when you have a deck like this. And the best part about this deck right here is this right here. Written by Teresa Reed, illustrated by Kaylee Whitman. Okay, if you're into tarot like I am, you definitely know who Teresa Reed is. She is one of the greatest tarot authors of all time. Actually, when I first started reading the tarot, the book that I studied was actually written by Teresa Reed. I do not remember the name of that book. Wow, look how big those cards are. But I don't remember the name of the book. It's like the only tarot book you'll ever need or something like that. Not quite what it's called though. But the fact that she wrote it, like she writes astrology books and everything too, and she makes it so simple to understand. So the fact that she wrote this book right here, it's going to give you all of the information that you're going to need as a child to study, learn the tarot, and share it with your friends and family. That's how you get good at it. Is first you start learning it about yourself. You draw a card every day, see how it relates to your life. Then you start doing readings for people you know, or in my case, doing readings for people online that you've never met in your entire life, and being shocked over and over again when it made sense to them. So that's entirely an option. But this deck, it's so perfect for it's gigantic, so I don't know how perfect it is for children's hands, but the illustrations, that's what we're here to see and look at. And we've got right there with the Fool and that 0, very much close to Rider-Waite-Smith, because you've got the child there with the dog going off into something new, some kind of new idea, the cliff and everything. So it's very much like a fantastic, fantasy book or something like that for a child. I love that. And I don't have any decks that look like this either. So this is the perfect deck to connect to children, I believe. So there is the Fool. The Magician follows the Fool, and you've got all those elements right there, the minor arcana. You got the Sword, reminding you of that strong mind, the emotional fulfillment of the cup, the chalice, and then the Magician's wand right there. You've got the thing I call fake it till you make it. You don't have all the ideas right yet, but you do have the ideas you need to go for it, even if you don't have all the answers. The more you do it, the more you'll learn. And there is the Pentacle, of course, reminding you, unfortunately, you always have to have money and finances to be a part of it. And I even like the fact that it's so connected to the Magician of the Rider-Waite-Smith, because as above, so below. Those ideas in our minds can become something more when we trust to bring them into reality. The Moon Queen replaces the High Priestess. So we've changed the names and everything in this deck a little bit more to connect with children. The Moon Queen, think about that. Moon, darkness, subconscious, emotions. Those emotions of us can help lead us, help us become the leaders, kings, and queens we want to be in our lives, because we don't let our emotions overwhelm us. We learn from them. So that is an awesome illustration there. The Empress is right here. Beautiful illustration again. I like the fact that she's got the feminine symbol right there on her throat. A necklace, it's around her throat. But they're the 3, creativity and creation itself, reminding us we can create anything we want in our lives when we trust ourselves. The Emperor follows the Empress, and that did say Empress, right? Yes, the Empress. And there is the Emperor, that strong foundation right there, looking forward of what he wants to grow and what idea, I'm going to take that as an idea, he wants to bring into reality, because he knows his worth and sees that strong foundation he is all on his own. 5, the Roman numeral V right there, is the Rules. That is really interesting. They call that the Rules because, this is the card I call Structured Religion. And, that definitely has rules. Learn from the rules and change or transform your life. Or learn from the rules and learn how to break them. That's probably not something I should say to a child. But, to each their own. The tarot is about how you want to read it. So you get an early start, like this deck says. You could become the most famous tarot reader of all time because you love to do it. And you started at such an early age, right? The Best Friends replaces the Lovers card in this deck. That is awesome. It has the same kind of meaning of the Lovers that I see in a deck. Love yourself first. Be your own best friend. And the people that deserve to be in your life and be your friends will find you and love you for you. So that's beautiful right there. That's probably one of the most unique cards I've ever seen, and I love the replacement with that card for the Lovers. The Chariot follows the Lovers in the sequence. There it is, taking control of your life, overcoming the obstacles that stand in your way of success. You're getting behind the wheel, you're finding that confidence. And that's what gives you the strength to trust yourself, to find that success. 8 being at the top. beautiful illustrations again. Like you see the way, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, you see the character. She's got like the maiden who has the lion's mouth like held open and everything. That same kind of energy is here, but it's like taking that calmness, finding that calm within and becoming one and whole with ourselves, that strength. So beautiful illustration again. The artwork in this is so just, it's childlike, but it's so beautiful. Like look at that hermit and the purple and everything there, and that light, that star right there, that lantern of looking within. This is an extremely intuitive deck, and the more you work with it and you read, of course, Teresa reads words in there, which we'll read a page from this to give you an idea before we're done. But everything about this deck, it's so dedicated to children. And you know, again, if I'm not calling it weird, honestly, if I say if you have a weird child and you're looking for some hobby for them to do, I am not insulting your child at all, I promise. Weird is my favorite compliment of all time. I see it as a compliment because it means you're unique, you're different, you're special. And it's those people who are unique and different and think differently that can inspire others to do the same. And that's a beautiful thing. I'll tell you a funny story, and this is still one of my favorite compliments of all time. I worked in a restaurant like a while back. This was years ago. And you know, restaurant, I worked in the kitchen. There were bartenders, there were servers and things like that. And there was one bartender there that his passion in life was to raise reptiles. I'm personally terrified of snakes. He loved them. That was his favorite thing in the world. He even had a pet. He was so proud of his alligator snapping turtle and everything. You know, other people would see him as weird. I did, at least. Nope. He came up to me one day during, you know, we're closing at the end of the night, and he goes, you know, you might be the weirdest person I've ever met in my entire life. I actually hugged the guy. I really ran up and hugged him and told him thank you, because come on, that's a compliment to me. When you think differently, you're weird and other people see it. It's awesome. So, you know, you have that weird child that just doesn't really get into sports, doesn't like video games and things like that. Divination, palmistry, tarot, that might be the thing for them. Okay, here is the wheel. Now, what I like about this illustration is the potential that is here. Anything is possible when you spin the wheel and you focus on the next chapter. And the snake, the Arboros, is right here, but it's not quite biting its tail. You're not stuck in the same routine all the time. You can begin again and start something new when you focus on it. Beautiful illustration. I absolutely adore the potential that is in this illustration. Justice follows the wheel of fortune, and there it is. You got the scale on one side and the sword of truth on the other, and you got those pillars and everything saying, you know, take that time to be fair to yourself and life will start being fair to you. Patience replaces the Hanged Man in this deck. So right there reminds you right there to say, you know, have patience, think things through, think outside of the box. Then you'll know what needs to go so you can start changing your life for the better. Death is replaced by change in this deck, and that is perfect because that's what death is. It's letting things go, letting the change happen, not trying to, not trying to rush it or anything, having patience so we can change and transform our lives for the better. Beautiful illustration again. Balance replaces temperance, and right there, you're taking what's old and replacing, applying it to the next chapter, taking the things that we've learned from the change, from that patience and everything. When we started being fair to ourselves, we're taking that and finding balance in our lives by mixing the two together. So there is that illustration. The bully replaces the devil right there. And you got it's kind of giving me like Aries vibes right there with the rams. And it's also giving me the 5 of Wands energy there, because it's like confliction with other people, the people out there that's like, ooh, you read tarot, how stupid, or something like that, not letting those thoughts, those external voices, keeping us from following what we want our lives to be, to create what we want. So that's really interesting right there. The Tower remains the Tower in this deck. And you see it right there, like the crown and everything coming crashing down, learning from those experiences, letting the tower fall, picking up the pieces, and in the process, finding our star power. This illustration of the star, wow. like just it's like a magical storybook or something. It's gorgeous. I love it. You know, that the power that comes when things come crashing down, when we find that strength and power. This is such an empowering deck, and the fact that it is connected to children right there in like a kid's book, oh my gosh, this is such a cool deck. I love the concept behind it. Like, just look at the moon. Yeah, you saw the moon right there, and the colors, that darkness, that blue and everything, telling us to like go into that ocean of emotion, learn from our emotions so we can make our dreams a reality and have that happiness and joy and day in the sun. There is the sun card again, beautiful, finding that joy in everything in life. Such a fun card. I love that. And of course, judgment follows the sun. There it is, telling us to toot our own horns and forgive the past. Remove, the clouds of doubt and everything so we can trust our intuitions and be a fool for something new. When we trust ourselves, learn from the past and forgive it. Of course, that's how we reach the completion of the major arcana, the world. And there is the world. And like the Wheel of Fortune, there is all the fixed signs of the zodiac. But instead of that just empty space and potential that was there with the Wheel of Fortune, she's manifested it. She's found that power. She knows her worth. The entire major arcana sequence has been played out, and she's ready for whatever comes next. The next card that we meet is the first card of the suit of wands. There is the Ace of Wands. The power and potential that Ace of Wands represents. The should I stay or should I go card is the Two of Wands. Right there with that card. And you've got the wand right there. Like, it's like he's already made his choice. And that's something that I've noticed in different decks. I don't know if there's a deck I haven't seen it in. I'm picturing the Rider-Waite-Smith where the guy's like standing on his porch, for lack of a better word, looking out at the ocean, and he does have two wands, but his hand, like this one, is gripping one wand. It's like you take that time to trust your intuition. The two, High Priestess of the Major Arcana, you trust that intuition, you don't let your emotions overwhelm you, and you can make the choice that you're passionate about. Look within and trust it, and you'll know what answer you're looking for. Three of Wands, my favorite card of the entire deck. Because of that thing I told you earlier, when you're weird, you find that passion and you follow it. You inspire others to follow their passions too. So the Two of Wands dude is standing up there looking at that ocean of emotion, deciding, is this what I really want to do? The Three of Wands that follows, he's down, he's cut his hair, he's dyed it a different color, and now he's down there by the water. He's ready. He's taking that wand, he's put the other things away, and he's going to follow and let that inner fire lead him to where he wants to be, to create the life that he's passionate about. I love it. Four of Wands, the card of weddings, or, a strong foundation that you're passionate about. And there, those two characters right there are definitely passionate about each other. They're having fun. They're celebrating. And that's something, kids love to do. It's something as adults we lose sight on, but it reminds us, that inner child is very much there too. And, if you don't have any kids, I don't have any kids, but if you want to like connect with that inner child, this might be the deck to do it with. So beautiful again. The Five of Wands, I said related to that double card we saw, the bully, because that's very much an energy of the Five of Wands. Everybody has a passion. Everybody has an opinion. When we focus on our own and we don't give into that immaturity and everything, then we can absolutely change and transform our lives into the ones that we're passionate about. So there's that illustration, followed by the Six of Wands that I like to call the celebrating our victories, no matter how small they might be. And there you can see that character is definitely celebrating her victory. She knows her worth, she knows her power, and she's moving forward. Now, when we know our worth, we know our power, and we appreciate everything we've done. Six, lovers, self-reflection, taking that time to reflect on where we've been, then we can absolutely trust ourselves to defend what we're passionate about moving forward. So there is the illustration of the Seven of Wands. 7 being the number of overcoming obstacles that stand in our way of success. So standing there, defending what we're passionate about, tarot and divination for children, perhaps, we can fight for what we believe in. We can change the world for the better. We can fight for those little guys, those weird people that want to be different. I'm telling you right here, right now, it's absolutely okay to be different, to be weird. Weird is beautiful. So there is the Seven of Wands. Now you found that power. You're weird. You're standing for it. You're all kinds of in charge. And now life is getting overwhelming because you threw those wands. You aim those wands, those arrows towards your your goal, and now they're finding them. 8 can be the number of success and wealth. It is the number of success and wealth because you found the strength to be fair to yourself, found that passion, and now things are moving forward. Now that's where the 9 of Wands comes in. The card of looking over your shoulder, wondering when the next shoe's going to fall. Because, the more we experience in life, the more obstacles we overcome, the more ups and downs we have, the more we might worry that there's going to be more ups and downs moving forward. That's definitely some way my head works. It's, what bad thing is going to happen now? Now, if you think that way all the time, then you're more likely to have that bad experience. But let's not forget that this is the 9. 9 of the major arcana is the number of the hermit, spending time in solitude to learn the secrets of our souls. So those things of our past, the reasons we're looking over our shoulder, if we learn from them, we absolutely can focus on grabbing a new passion and letting it lead, and have that confidence we need to spin the wheel and begin the next chapter with the Wheel of Fortune. So there is the 9 of Wands. Dude's definitely been through some stuff, but he's not giving up. And that is the energy I see from this card. It's just not giving up. No matter what life throws at us, learn from it and not give up. And then we're able, when we feel overwhelmed and everything, this is the card of feeling overwhelmed, we can actually move forward. We can have that goal in mind, see the finish line, and know that we can reach it. Now, this is a really interesting illustration because it's definitely... the character doesn't seem to be struggling as much as the illustrations you usually see, because like the Rider-Waite-Smith, again, the guy's almost he looks like he's gonna drop his wands at any time. This one, though, has been intelligent about it. He's wrapped them on his back and he's moving forward. Now look how far the character has come. Look how close you are. You're closer to your goal than you were before. So this is a very, very, very empowering 10 of Wands. Wonderful. Page of Wands is the next step. That makes it the 11 because it's that next step after the 10. So you can focus on something new. The character, it made it to his destination. And now he's focused on what new passionate path he can embark on now. Now the Knight that follows, he's ready for whatever life throws at him. His passion, he's got that suit of armor and everything on. He's ready for something new. But of course, I always talk about the Knight of Wands and the message of caution that comes with him as well, because Knight of Wands, astrological correspondence is to Sagittarius, and the Knight of Wands, like Sagittarius, is known for being a little bit flighty. I'm talking, oh, here's a passion. I really like this. I want to do this. Oh, wait, what's that? I want to do this. And then just completely losing sight of what you were first talking about. Yes, welcome to the way my brain works. It's seriously a miracle I've been able to do tarot and follow tarot as long as I have. This is it. This is my purpose. This is my passion. This is my path. Because out of 40 years of life, first 5 years, you didn't really have anything you're passionate about. But, there was always something that I get distracted on and want to do instead. But when it comes to tarot, it's not there. Sure, there is the fact that I want to learn palmistry too, but divination is divination. So, it's all kind of the same umbrella of stuff. Okay, Queen of Wands, the most creative queen of the court. You have her right there. And those sunflowers and everything, like the sun that we saw earlier. Beautiful illustration. Ooh, and look at that Black Panther right there. How awesome would it be to have a big cat like that? I would love that. Husband thinks I'm a bit crazy for this thought, but yes, if I had a giant cat, I would be happy. It might kill me in the end, but yeah, worth it. Beautiful illustration right there. That might be one of my favorites. So far, it's definitely the Hermit, the Star, and the Queen of Wands. Those are like my 3 favorites because that cat is so cool. Now, the giant salamanders of the King of Wands, kind of creepy, to be honest with you. At least I think they're kind of creepy, but they're fun too. And the fact that they've got salamanders, lizards on the screen, it kind of always reminds you that even, you make it, you can always transform your life. You can always, shed the skin of the past, learn from it so that you can begin focusing on some new idea that emotionally fulfills you. There is the Ace of Cups again. What a gorgeous illustration, and the potential that our emotions can have, help us lead. That is so pretty of an illustration. The Two of Cups, the emotionally fulfilling partnerships. It can be romantic. It absolutely doesn't have to be romantic. It's, when those minds come together, those ideas come together, and we can start trusting it. We can trust our intuitions and everything, and we can begin, working that partnership together. And of course, it reminds us too that the greatest partnership we can ever have is finding that love for ourselves within, the light and the dark within us, so that we can trust our intuitions. So there is that illustration, followed by the card, the Three of Cups, the card of celebrating, with friends, having fun. And that's exactly what that illustration is showing. Beautiful again. The Four of Cups is the boredom card of the tarot, and you can definitely see that in this illustration. This guy looks bored. He looks uninterested, but there is the potential with that cup right there. All the things of our past, when we learn from them, we can create something better. And the thing I love about the Four of Cups, in order to feel bored, because this is the boredom card, you have to feel comfortable. So instead of focusing on the negativity, instead of focusing on being bored, focus on what makes your heart sing and do something about it. The Five of Cups, the card I call crying over spilled milk because you can't pick it up, is right here. And it's so fun. There's so much light in this deck, like the illustrations and everything, because it's not dark and despairing. There's very much potential, like very much for hope for something new. The clouds are clearing. She's very focused on those three cups over here, but there's a bridge, and those two cups right there. Learn from it, trust your intuition, and go over that ocean of emotion, or the river of emotion, or creek of emotion in this illustration, and find something new. Beautiful illustration. The card of nostalgia is next with the Six of Cups, which in my head has officially become the look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Yeah, I completely blanked on the rest of the song, A Photograph by Nickelback, but yeah, that is the energy of the Six of Cups to me. So there is that illustration. You've got all the cups lying there to find that joy and happiness and love, and you can start focusing on what choice you want to make next. The card of choices follows with the Seven of Cups right there, and you see all those clouds and everything, showing the obstacle, showing the time that we need to take to look through those clouds, look through the doubt, pay attention to the little details and decide which one of those choices we want to drive our chariots towards. So there is that illustration. Beautiful with like the mask and the bat and the whatever this thing is. Yeah, she's very focused. Like, I think her eyes seem to be directed towards those jewels, and out of all of those, that one might make the most logical sense. Who knows? Now, I will tell you a little piece of information that you might find interesting about the choices we make in life. Did you know that the average person makes over 35,000 choices in a single day? You chose to watch this video. You've chosen to continue watching it and not turn it off. You chose to, maybe get your child into it. Every single thing that we ever do is a choice. I made a choice to make a video about divination for children. Here we are. So there is the Seven of Cups. And the little piece of fact that I looked up online one time of 35,000. That's huge if you think about it. Now, if you made like $1 for every single choice you made, you'd have $35,000. That would be cool, right? The Eight of Cups follows that card, the Seven of Cups, leaving behind what no longer emotionally satisfies us. And you've got that illustration right there. The more you work with tarot, the more you connect with it, the more the illustrations actually speak exactly what they mean. It takes years, it takes time, but the more you do it, the more you work with it, the more you share that love with other people, and the more you understand it, the more you're going to be able to okay, look at this illustration and say, they're leaving this behind. They're finding something new. And you'll even look right here. There's a wand. Emotion and passion go hand in hand. When you leave those negative emotions behind and you focus, you can absolutely begin something new and let that passion lead you. I love that. I've never ever, the Rider-Waite-Smith has a staff, and I never really thought about it as a wand, but now that I do, what's a wand but a stick, right? So that passion can help us. That goal can be there. We can find the success with it when we leave behind what's no longer serving us. So that's such a fun illustration. The wish card of the tarot follows that, the Nine of Cups, and you see there, learning from all those things in the past, whether they worked out or not, can help us clear the clouds of doubt and help us make all of our wishes come true. So there is that illustration. And then, of course, the Ten of Cups that follows, the happiness and fulfillment, the happy family card of the illustration. And there is that illustration. They definitely do look happy and content. The rainbow and everything. Beautiful illustration. Yeah, this is definitely, you can tell from the illustrations, just like that Palmistry book we showed it earlier, there's definitely like a kid-like thing about this, but it doesn't take away from the magic that is tarot and the magic that is in this deck. The character talking to a fish, he's even got the scarf and everything on, so it's kind of like winter and cold, but that gives us that time to look within and find ways to have fun. So that is a very fun illustration. Knight of Cups that follows is right here, the romantic tub of the tarot that always follows his heart in everything he does. And you've got that creek or river of emotion going off into the distance, and he's got that empty cup that says, I'm ready, I'm going to let my heart lead. What makes it sing and be able to create it? The Queen of Cups, the mother of the tarot, is right here. Beautiful queen. It kind of looks like a mermaid sitting in a seashell, or as a clam, I'm not sure, but beautiful illustration again. And I like the fact that, you know, usually like the queen in the Rider-Waite-Smith, her cup is enclosed. It's the only card of the card of the one that has cups in it that actually doesn't have the lid off, which kind of says she's not sure of her own happiness, what can fulfill her, because she's so focused on everybody else. But this illustration, the character is very much looking inside of that cup. She's taking the time to decide what makes her own heart sing. So that is awesome. I love that meaning, because you don't usually see that in any of the illustrations, yet we have it right here in the kids, or tarot for kids, that's what it's called. King of Cups completes the suits of emotional happiness and fulfillment, and there he is also in that seashell, happiness, smiling, and he's got his staff/wand saying, you know, I'm ready, I can change and transform my life into whatever I want it to be, because love is my way forward. Beautiful, beautiful illustration. The Ace of Swords that follows, you're emotionally fulfilled. Your mind is clear. You can begin whatever idea you want to begin. So there is that illustration with, you know, very much Rider-Waite-Smith vibes, with the crown and everything, with the leaves around it and stuff, reminding you that you absolutely have the power and potential to grow your ideas into something more. Next up, we have the Two of Swords that follows. The card of tuning out the distractions and taking the time to look within, right there, you know, connects to the High Priestess of the Major Arcana and trusting our intuition. And that's exactly what that character's doing, is taking the time to look within so she can trust her intuition. The ocean of emotion is behind her, with all of that ice and everything breaking up so that she can clear the clouds of doubt and find and trust herself. Beautiful illustration. Even the Three of Swords is beautiful, and I love the connection to the clouds so much, because it's like reminding us, when we trust ourselves, when we take the time to reflect and everything, we absolutely can clear the clouds of doubt, clear the clouds of heartbreak and betrayal, the energy of the Three of Swords, and create something new. So there is that illustration, followed by the Four of Swords, the card of rest and reflection. Now, I like the fact that this is very much, well, all these cards are very connected to the Rider-Waite-Smith. So, you know, if you start out with this deck, then you absolutely can, like, you pick up that deck, like, oh, this one makes total sense to me now. Now, this illustration connecting to the Rider-Waite-Smith, I love the energy of this card and the meaning, because it's right there. This guy didn't know if he was going to survive the war. He's obviously like a soldier or something. So he's taking that time to rest, finding that strong foundation within, so that 1, 2, 3 can create something better, make the next chapter something that makes, you know, the most sense to him. And that single sword down there on the bottom says, you know, he's taking that time to look within, to decide what light bulb moment he wants to take and make into something. The Five of Swords is the card that I call the victor or victim card, with that illustration right there. And it kind of, I always ask the question, and lately I've been, when I find this card and it comes up for people, they actually tell me, you know, I feel more like the victor. And like, that's awesome. But remember too what it's like to feel like a victim, so that you can be empathize with other people. You know, don't always be like so confident in yourself that you turn into a narcissist. Beside the point, Five of Swords, the change and transformation energy there, you know, learning from the experience of the past that other people might have taken advantage of us, so that we can trust our intuitions and not let it happen again. Find that peace and harmony that comes with the Six of Swords. This is an interesting illustration. Is that a dog? It's a dog standing on its hind legs or something, or maybe a bear. I'm not sure. That is fun. But I like the fact it looks like the water and everything. It's almost like a whirlpool or something. And life is like that. Life is stressful at times, and we learn that the more we live. But finding that time to reflect and find love, we can overcome what life throws at us and find that peace and harmony that we deserve. And then maybe understand what that creature might be. Seven of Swords is the Thief card of the tarot, and you can definitely tell that from this illustration. He has dropped a few and left a few behind, but yeah. Don't let life, don't let life steal your confidence either, because the swords is the suit of the mind, and it reminds you, with confidence, we can steal back our confidence, we can do anything. And there's those two swords down at the bottom. Trusting our intuition can help us have the confidence we need to overcome whatever life throws at us. Eight of Swords, the card of being a prisoner in life to our own minds, the warden of our heads, making us think that we can't move forward. This was my stalker card when I first began, and there it is. And that rope isn't even connected to her. She's got that blindfold in. She needs to look within and see that her way forward is clear. She finds that strength to be fair to herself, and she can achieve whatever she wants to achieve. Of course, the suit of the mind going down through the minor arcana definitely does not come out to a positive thing necessarily. There is the card of lying awake at night, worrying about what the future might hold, letting inner demons and everything keep us and give us nightmares. This is the nightmare card of the tarot, but there is that 9, reminding us that we take time to learn from those things that scare us, learn from our inner demons, then we can absolutely spin the wheel and begin again and find that good night's rest too. Which leads us to the 10 of Swords, which does relate to the Wheel of Fortune. And there you see, that's a really interesting illustration, because there's no people here, but those swords are stabbed into that water. That kind of shows, those things, those emotions that want to pull us under and make us want to give up. But there's the clouds. Those clouds are moving off of the page, they're moving off of the card, showing that there's new potential. Spin the wheel and begin again. Page of Swords is next, the card of useful information. And all that we've learned so far, everything that's been through this deck, that's through every single tarot, is useful information we can take with us to trust our intuitions and begin again. So there is that illustration, coming through the clouds and everything, having the confidence and willingness to face whatever life throws at us next. There's the confident Knight of Swords, the soldier that is ready for whatever obstacle comes. Awesome. And 12, the energy of the Knight of Swords and all the knights shows, by beginning to trust our intuitions, we can create whatever we want. So there is an awesome illustration again. All of these illustrations are beautiful. Like the Queen of Swords right here with all of her butterflies. Butterflies are like transformation. Those caterpillar times that, they go into their chrysalis, they turn into straight goo, and then they come back out ready to fly. All those things that made us want to turn into goo, that made us want to give up, we learn from them, trust our minds, find our internal truth, and we can absolutely transform our lives. And then, of course, the King of Swords completes the suit of the mind right there with his butterflies as well, and the clouds in the background, and he's going, I don't care. I trust myself. I know my worth. I'm thinking logically, and I can achieve whatever I set my sights on. So this is such a fantastic deck for anybody that wants to learn tarot. Yes, it's perfect for children. There's the Ace of Coins, beautiful. The Two of Coins. But, it's perfect for children. It really is. But if you're a beginner with the tarot too, and you want something very kind and soft, I don't know if soft's the right word, but something very compassionate for yourself, I think this is the deck for that, for sure. Because it's just very sweet and everything. And the clouds and everything, the doubt and the insecurity and the worry, clear it. Trust your mind and your intuition. You can make whatever choice you want. You can balance whatever you want in life. 3 of Coins follows the 2 with that illustration right there, the card of collaboration. The yellow and everything reminds us, it's fun to work with other people. It's fun, to create. Find that joy, that sun within, and we can create the sun and the happiness externally. The 4 of Coins, the card of saving your money for a rainy day. Never a fan of this card coming up when I'm doing readings for other people, like at festivals and stuff, because it's like, save your money. Oh, wait, you got to give me money for doing your reading, but save your money after this. $5 a day for an entire year. You put it in a shoebox, you wrap the shoebox. You take a shoebox. You wrap the shoebox in really pretty wrapping paper. Like, you're going to open it, but you're not going to open it right now. And then when you're done with that, you take like scissors or a knife or something. You cut a slit in the very top that only you can put money in. You know, coins, dollar bills and stuff. Or, because I was talking about $5 bill every single day for 365 days. At the end of that year, you unwrap that box, you open the lid, and voila, you have $1,825 in the form of fives in that shoebox. I'd say you probably need like a really big shoebox to do that, but the concept is there, and that's the energy of the Four of Pentacles, or Four of Coins in this deck, so that is interesting. And I like the fact that it's very connected to the Rider-Waite-Smith, because it reminds you too that money isn't everything. She's so focused on those finances. She doesn't see that there's doubt clouds coming in. She doesn't see, like, trust her intuition, because the money's the front of her mind. The money is what she loves. The money is what grounds her. So it reminds you too that to find that strong foundation, you kind of have to forget about money maybe for a little bit. But you forget too much about money, you don't care, then you're going to find yourself down on your luck and unfinancially successful with that Five of Coins. More often than not, though, the Five of Coins represents that fear. And, you know, in this day and age, everybody has that fear, right? But that five reminds us we can always change and transform our lives for the better when we learn from the experience of the past, find that strong foundation within, and know that we are not alone, even when it feels like we're down on our luck. Not alone kind of continues with these Six of Coins right here, because this is the sharing is caring card. And, you know, they're balanced. It's fair, you know, reminding us that we share our lights, share our stories and everything. We absolutely can make our lives better, create lives that we love, because our reflections of our past, when we share them with others, can help them change their lives too. So that's a really fun illustration. Then the Seven of Coins, which is very much the card of patience, like the Hangman we saw earlier. There's that one, tending to our coins, having that patience and everything, so we absolutely can find the success and wealth of the Eight. Of course, the Eight of Coins, the Eight of Pentacles in other decks, seriously, the Eight of Earth is probably the minor arcana suit that's mostly always changed. But the coins right here, and you see there, he's got his stabby thing right there and his chisel, like grounding it in, drawing those coins and everything. You know, practice makes perfect. And the more we're willing to work for that success, put in that hard work and effort, practice and perfect, the more we're going to find the beauty and happiness that is the Nine of Coins, the successful individual. And you can see there, she's ready. Look at all the fruits of her labor. She can buy herself whatever she wants. You know, this is a card that's dangerous for me when I draw it, because it's like I want something. The Tarot for Kids, for example, and I draw this card, it's like, yeah, sure, you can buy whatever you want. Not necessarily always the best idea, but I'm not regretting this at all. Like, I love this deck, and I'm so excited because, like, I do a lot of festivals where kids are very, very interested in what my stuff is. I actually did a festival this past weekend that a little kid came up and he had his face paint and everything on, and he just climbed on top of my bench that people get readings on. Like, I have a bench that has like Galaxy vinyl over it and everything. It's really cool. But he climbs up on it and just goes to sleep, and his parents are like, honey, you can't do this. And, you know, I could have let him draw on a card if I had this deck. Yeah, so that's really cool. I think that, you know, kids are interested in it. Don't hide it from them. It can teach them to trust themselves and give them a way to connect with friends and make friends and everything. I went so much through school. When I was in elementary school, I actually had friends and I was pretty cool, but it wasn't because of me. It was because of my mother, because she was the Virgo homeroom mother that planned all the parties and everybody had a blast. So, you know, popular by association because I was her kid. But, you know, once I got to middle school and high school and homeroom mothers and parties weren't a thing, I had no friends. I was always like hiding. I was pretending to be something I wasn't. I was mostly hiding in the library during lunch and stuff because nobody liked me. Nobody wanted to talk to me. I had nothing in common with these people. We didn't have money. My family didn't have that much money. And, you know, I wasn't into sports. My favorite sport is probably motocross, you know, dirt bikes and freestyle motocross and stuff like that. And that's not something anybody else was really interested in. But, you know, the tarot and everything, it can help that weird, awkward kid that doesn't get along with everybody. It can help them trust themselves and then share this. So I'm able to, when I've been doing this for about 10 years now, I can tell you, I've made more friends in that 10 years doing this and sharing this and knowing these people are actually truly, they like me for me. it's better than I've ever had before. I mean, I could talk about this till the end of time. Like, Facebook, you have your Facebook friends and stuff. Most of my friends are actually because I've done tarot readings and I've met them. So, this is a way to connect with people. It's a way to make the generations of people coming next know it's okay to be different, and there's connection between everybody. 10 of Coins, the card of generations of family coming together, past lives, the blood that flows through our veins, ancestors, and everything. It reminds us the people that have come before us and our own selves. When we take chances, when we spin the wheel, when we trust ourselves and learn from the experience of the past, we can help the next generation make their lives confident in what they want them to be too. So that is the 10 of Coins, followed by the Page of Coins, the very focused page, ready to focus on their ideas and begin it. There's that one. The Knight of Coins, the soldier that's willing to do the hard work, boring, and mundane routine in order to achieve his goals. There is that illustration, and you see the land there, ready for whatever he wants to plant. Knights, again, 12. Action and thought process, creating what we want. Put in that hard work and boring, mundane routine, and you absolutely can become the queen and king of your story. I think that's weird. I do believe we actually don't have the King of Coins in this deck. It's missing it. Now, you saw me take it out of the box. Wow. Okay, I'm going to have to, go through it again, maybe? Nope. It's not there. That is so weird. They just left it out. This deck can still be used. That queen, kindness, compassion, empathy, thought process, and everything. Feminine energy. They're reminding us, we're there for everybody else. We should be there for ourselves too. But where is that king? That is so interesting. Like, you see inside the box and everything. You saw me open the deck, and with the plastic and everything, and they just completely left out the King of Pentacles. Is he even in the thing? Yeah, he's in the book, but he's not in the deck. How disappointing. Here I was thinking, last week's video was the Martian Oracle, or the Mystic Martian Oracle, and it was not in order or anything, and I thought that, the cards might be missing, and it's not. So how ironic is this one's in the box, and it's actually missing the King of Coins. How weird. I'm going through it over and over, and it's like, it's obviously not there because we already went through the whole deck. So, very, very interesting there. Definitely having to make, an email or something saying I'm missing a card, and they'll have to send me a new one, I guess. I don't know. That's so strange that you could tell this deck was new. It's never been touched. It was in the plastic, and yet that card is missing. We end with the Queen of Coins. How strange. Okay, now we're going to flip to a random page in this book. I'm going to show you what the guidebook is, and then I'll send you on your way. 2 of Cups is the one that we open to. So let's read what Teresa Reed shares. We read what Teresa Reed. That almost rhymed, but it's the same word, yeah. 2 of Cups can indicate 2 people coming together. Sometimes that might mean you're making a new friend, or that you're getting closer to a current one. It could also mean that you must find a way to get along with someone in your life. For example, if you've been arguing with your sibling, maybe it's time to seek a truce. Look for where you can work together. In some cases, the 2 of Cups might mean romance. Now, reversed, she even puts the reverse in here. This is really cool. So you're going to, your kid, and you're learning this and stuff and everything, and you get to high school, it's like, oh, if you drew this card reversed, here's what that means. Okay, it says, can't we all just get along? That is what this reversal seems to ask. It may be hard to see someone else's point of view at this time, or maybe they can't understand yours. This reversal shows problems with a relationship instead of harmony where there is lack of cooperation. Take a break and talk it out later. Now, down at the bottom, and it's like that in every single one of these cards, like every single page. It says, how can you cooperate better with others? That's really awesome that it gives you that question, because I love the fact, there's questions and stuff that you can ask that can help you, grow from the experience and everything. So that's really interesting. And all in all, this is a really, really awesome deck. Yes, I'm highly disappointed. I keep going like this, thinking that maybe it's stuck to it, and it's clearly not. Yes, they screwed me out of a king. How strange is that? Now, on the back, I'll read you what it says on the back of it. Tarot is a great resource for decision making, creative thinking, and learning to trust your intuition and so much more. Plus, it's a lot of fun. Kids will love learning to read tarot on their own or with their friends. Tarot for kids includes 78, or in my case, 77, beautiful illustrated cards plus a 96-page guidebook that includes a brief history of tarot, the meaning of cards, and how to perform readings. Get ready for hours of fun. Yes, make tarot mainstream, make tarot fun, make kids feel like they can trust themselves by working with the cards and working with the deck. Now, I'll put a link in the description below where you can purchase this. I guess when I get the update about the fact that they didn't give me one of the cards, I will definitely put that in the description below. Like, I'll add to it so you can check that out at another time. That'll take time though, because, you know, who knows how long it'll take before they'll learn from it and stuff like that, or help me with that. So I'm going to put these cards back in the box. You got that in, put the thing, you see there, it's like kind of already a little bit warped. So yeah, Amazon, not exactly the best place to buy decks, maybe. I don't know. I've always done it. That's where my first deck came from. But, you know, the more crazy and overwhelming, like the Eight of Wands has, the more people wants what you have to offer, the more sloppy things might get. Now, I'm going to put the little tab back in here. The way this is, that's probably the problem is, you know, it kind of hits right there. So, yeah, we got to get that back in. And it's like, I don't want to go. Yeah, I'll do that off camera. We'll just leave it like that. But these are the two things I wanted to share with you today to show you divination for kids is absolutely possible. If you've got that weird kid that doesn't get along with people, that, you know, is just awkward and then likes things like space and astrology and things like that, these are the things to connect them with, for sure. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can purchase both of these for your own collection. As always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.